What people really need the most. We talked about Palestine, but you know, you go all over the world and you can see how many people don't even have the basic security in terms of for their life. And so especially with this topic is therefore really relevant to our lives, and we will have hopefully some time for discussion, some question and answer. So I will ask our speakers to be clear and precise so that we can have some time for interaction. We will begin with Dr. Robert Kittle's presentation on the UPF principles of peace and cooperation. Many of you know Dr. Kittle. He is the senior advisor and director of education in the UPF Asia Pacific, and also he's the coordinator of the International Media Association for Peace in this region. So though he's American by birth, he has been working here in Asia for Father and Mother Moon's movement for almost 50 years. So let's welcome Dr. Robert Kittle.
Thank you, Ursula. She's from Germany, I'm from America, but we're friends. Yeah. Oh, Father Moon sent me out in 1975 as a 24-year-old young man to represent his effort to reach out to the world. And the first nation I went to was Pakistan. I lived there for 8 years. So may I say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. I would like to take up and continue what President Hori mentioned in his presentation as the last speaker. We are in a cultural war, and I want to define that and also offer a solution. But first of all, let me greet, he's not here with us, but his heart and spirit are here because we're in his mosque, Dr. Professor Nasiruddin Umar, the Grand Imam of the Istiqlal Mosque, and also the other side, the co-sponsor, Honorable Eknath Dekal, from the nation of Pakistan as a former minister. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, fellow panelists, parliamentarians, religious leaders. This session is called Common Ground. So let's be clear, the goal is not to end the conflict. The goal is not tolerance, because that's not common ground. Tolerance means I won't fight with you, but I won't agree with you also. And we've got to go beyond that. So that's a very important topic that we're dealing with. Our goal is common ground, common values. Common values. So I pose this question: can we find a universal definition of goodness? Here's the hard part. All religions must agree without violating their religious tenets, because they won't do it. So this is the quandary that we pose. And I will present to you our understanding and see if it fits your tradition, whether it's Catholic or Islam, or we have also Buddhists with us in the morning session. Father Moon said this, it's very simple. The essence of goodness, live for the sake of others. Why? Because the opposite, live for myself, is selfish by definition. So can we find, does this definition work? Let's start with our host religion. In the Quran, do not expect in giving any increase for yourself. Well, Father Moon had different words, but he said, you know, live for the sake of others. It's the same concept, the same value, the same principle. Wow. Allah does not love those who are arrogant and boastful. Why, this selfishness is what the enemy is. That's what President Hori was talking about. This extreme self-centeredness that I don't care about anything else but me. And in Islam, the concept is shiar, altruism in English, the notion that preferring others to one's self. So Father Moon said, live for the sake of others. Of course, other religions use different words and phrases, but the common principle is there, the common value. In the Bible, whoever seeks to gain his life will lose it. Gain my life, take. Selfishness will kill you spiritually. And the reverse, whoever loses his life will preserve it. This is Father Moon's favorite Bible verse, actually. Let no one seek his own good, but the good of his neighbor. Don't be selfish. All religions are teaching that. In Buddhism, cut the love of yourself and develop the path to peace. Why? If I love myself, I cannot find peace? Yes. Why? Because me. If it's me, then I don't care about others. I only care about me. How can I build peaceful relationships centered on me? It doesn't work. In Confucianism, to nourish the mind, have a healthy others. No selfish desire. Wow. And in Hinduism, the sacrifice performed by those who desire no reward. It's the nature of goodness. Wow. Live for the sake of others. Sacrifice without reward. Yeah. Looks like we're finding something in the African tradition from Kenya. One must have the courage to face life as it is, go through sorrows, and always sacrifice one's self for the sake of others. It's everywhere. It's universal. Sacrificing for others is the essence of goodness itself. Wow. This is what Father Moon said in his autobiography that was published the same year he passed away in 2012. A true life is a life in which we abandon our private desires and live for the public good. This truth is taught by all major religious leaders, past, present, East and West. That's true. That's a common value that why don't we celebrate this together? Not just tolerance. And it goes beyond religion. Look at sociology, the Good Society, Robert Beulah and others. The most profound decisions about justice, something we all seek, are not made by individuals as such, but by individuals thinking on behalf of institutions, other people. Wow. Martin Luther King Jr., life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Mother Teresa, give, but give until it hurts. Common. Living for the sake of others. So I pose another question. Who's the first other that we should live for? Our parents. They're the closest to us. They're the ones we live with when we're young, 24 hours a day. They nurture, care, educate, and take. So that means we need to learn for the sake of, live for the sake of our parents first. And what does that do? It develops filial piety or good character in children, because they learn to live for others by loving their parents. That's the mind-body, the public-private priority that is so essential in individual life, family, and in government life. It's good character. The North Star in our life, all of us should be our parents. Live for the sake of our parents first and foremost. Therefore, the family is so important, because this is going to teach us to live for others, to be good. More than the school will teach us to be smart, but the family will teach us to be good. We need both. So the family, worship Allah, la ilaha illallah, there's one God, and do good unto your parents and near of kin. Filial piety is the root of all goodness, says Confucianism. Honor your parents. Be a filial son or daughter. Honor your father and mother in the Bible, both in the Old and the New Testament. Buddhism, 5 ways a child should minister to his parents as the East. The sun rises on the East, and I just think of my parents, and I honor them. Hinduism, treat your mother as God, treat your father as God. Another value that we have, not only if we're going to honor our parents, then we honor the institution that brought our parents together, that conceived me, and that's called marriage. Every religion honors marriage. Yes, we have different ceremonies. Some light candles, some have prayer beads, some have strings around the wrist, some walk around fire. Yes, because we have different cultures. But it's the same. It's a man and a woman pledging loyalty and faithfulness to each other in front of their supreme being, or God, or Allah. Every religion honors marriage. He, Allah, created spouses for you and planted affection and mercy between you. So we make institutions. We have educational institutions, political, economic, military, financial, judicial, but God made the institution of marriage, not man. God planted affection between you so that you'll love each other and never separate. And that love will then conceive children, and those children will be born and nurtured in that love. The two-parent family is the best model to raise children. There's every sociological study done in America advocates that. Exceptions, none. Why are we confused about the importance of the family? A man should leave his father and mother, cleave to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. Again, the importance of marriage. It's in the United Nations Charter, Article 16.3. The family is the fundamental, natural and fundamental group unit of society. It is entitled to protection by society and the state.
Article 16.
The society, if you're a political leader, you have judicial responsibility, legislative, executive, yes.
Not only
financial, yes.
Have economic responsibility.
But the government must also support the family. They can do that. We can work together to do that. Here's one study done in America, 30 conclusions. I'll only draw the conclusion about how important marriage is. Marriage is important for public well-being. It is associated with a range of economic, health, education, safety factors that help local government, federal government serve the common good. Lower crime, better education. Don't we all want that? Strengthen the families. Religious practice. Doesn't matter your faith, or within your faith, your particular theological preference. All religions have differences, even in them. In the Catholic Church, how many different schools of thought do you have? It doesn't matter your faith, your practice of religion improves mental health, physical health, marital stability and happiness, educational achievement, economic sustainability, charitable giving, work ethics, resistance to substance abuse, lower crimes, family relations. That's our common value. The enemy is clearly now before us. UPF's statement: the breakdown of the family contributes to a wide range of social problems. By strengthening the family, we can build a stronger base of social capital that will enhance the overall quality of life for everyone, regardless of race, tradition, nationality. So the religions warn us, if we're going to celebrate parents and marriage and family, then we've got to be warned. A very serious warning. Do not commit fornication. The penalty on the day of judgment is double. And this is the only sin in the Quran that I'm aware of that gets double punishment on the day of judgment. Wow. How serious. They use the strongest language in the Bible to say, flee from immorality, run away. All other sins a man commits are outside of his body, but he who sins sexually sins against his own body. Ruh, the Spirit of God, is in us. So I'll close with Mother Boone's warning and advocacy. Traditional Christianity, I think it goes for many democratic nations worldwide. Traditional Christianity lacks the spiritual resources to prevent the rise of sexual immorality and materialism. I think that's clear. I'm an American, so I'm kind of talking about my own country. It's nodding head. Yeah, those Americans, those guys, they did it. Please blame us. We have to go and fix ourselves. So we've looked at 3 values that we hold in common, regardless of our faith tradition. Living for others, being public-minded and good, honoring parents, marriage as a divine covenant between man and woman and between God. Those values we have. Our conclusion is this: these principles that we've just outlined are embedded in all religions. They're already there. I didn't put them there. God put them there. They're already there. Because they are embedded, therefore they are transcendent. They are universal. So we don't have to choose one religion over the other. Our conclusion is simple. You don't need to change your religion to be good. But we have to work together to protect the freedom of religion that we all enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kittel, for your powerful lecture. And I think, do you remember his 3 main points? Live for the sake of others, honor your parents, and marriage, sacredness of marriage. I think this is a very timely lecture. Okay, so we have later time for discussion and comments. Let's go now to our next speaker, Professor Dr. Alvi Shihab. He is a renowned scholar, educator, and also our long-time dedicated ambassador for peace. His last appointment in the government was that he was the President's special envoy to the Middle East and OIC from 2015 to 2019. So let's warmly welcome Dr. Alvi Shihab.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This will fall. Good. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished guests, participants, I'm extremely happy today because it reminds me to my long way friendship with UPF. Of course, with Istiqlal is part of me also. But I want to congratulate the organizer for arranging this international conference. His leadership in Istiqlal, he created many new ventures for the sake of harmony, for the sake of interreligious dialogue. I was with him recently in the United States, also for the same topic. The topic is interfaith dialogue among communities. When we talk about interfaith dialogue, it requires many factors, one of which is tolerance. You cannot have a positive dialogue while you are intolerant. Second, you cannot continue with positive dialogue if you don't try to learn the lesson of the history of the past. As we know, Islam and Christianity both are missionary religion, and therefore they are competing for good actually, but in the way, in their competition, sometimes hostility appear. And that is what we really observe. This is because of long history of hatred and animosity, because first of the Crusades. The crusade has produced many harsh scholars, as if between Christianity and Islam has nothing in common, as if they are enemies. If we look back to the writings of Martin Luther about Islam and the Prophet Muhammad, I think any Christian today will be surprised, if not what should we say, surprised because of the content of animosity towards Islam and the Prophet Muhammad. Likewise, in the Islamic world, we find a very renowned scholar by the name of Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah was the inspirator of Wahhabism. Wahhabism so far has created unpleasant atmosphere and environment in the Muslim world. Not to say that in every terrorist group, especially in Indonesia, according to the renowned scholar of Nahdlatul Ulama, Said Agil Siraj, that all terrorist actors are from the same source of ideology, namely Wahhabism. So for us to continue our dialogue among communities of faith, we have to know that history, and we have to learn the lesson of the past in order for us to start having a good relation between, especially between Christian and Muslim in Indonesia. In Indonesia, we have so many religious groups, but most animosity and conflict come from these two religions. We like it or not, but this is the fact. Most Islamic radical and extreme movements started to appear after the Reformation era in the early 20th century in the Middle East. During that time, many renowned scholars of Islam made concerted effort to develop the Muslim communities to cope with the modern world. Reopening the long history of relationship between the two communities is important to enable us to analyze the mysteries hidden behind the appearance of many Islamic radical and extreme movements. The better relations starting from the bitter relations starting from the first crusade up till the sixth crusade in the 13th century, and the long animosity between the two communities have left negative consequences in the years that follow. This animosity has produced many harsh and hostile leaders, as I mentioned earlier, from the Christian side, Martin Luther, the Protestant leader, because of the situation and the environment during the time of his leadership of Protestantism. The Ottoman Empire was there trying to seize the European countries. So no other way for Martin Luther except to build the spirit of animosity towards the enemy who is sitting on the boundary of Europe during that time. Also, Ibn Taymiyyah wrote a very unpleasant book for Christianity titled The Right Response to Those Who Alter the Religion of Christ. He criticized Christianity and the Christian, and among others, he warned the Muslim not to be close to Christian community. This is as the consequences of the environment during that time. Therefore, these bitter experience of the relationship between the two communities has resulted in, according to the survey, over 50% of religious teachers in Indonesia are considered intolerant because of the teaching of Wahhabism, which was brought at the first time or inspired by Ibn Taymiyyah. In fact, if we are trying to find good venue and trying to find commonalities, we find Christianity and Islam, like many other world religions, have demonstrated that their teachings and values are instrumental in setting aside differences and creating mutual understanding and trust. Intercultural and interreligious harmony cannot be reduced to an optional extra. It is a vital necessity. That is in large a measure of the success of a pluralistic society. Islam makes clear that all humankind share the same sanctity of life and honor. This tradition has been practiced since its early time. Likewise, the Church has profoundly enlightened its followers to promote love, affection, and other communities. Far from the ideas of hostility and hatred during the Middle Ages era. Both religions and others emphasize that their religions are religions of dialogue and compassion. From Islamic perspective, we find many lessons towards that end. Repeatedly, the Quran enlightened Muslims to be fair and just when dealing with others, particularly the people of the book. One of the verses that God do not prohibit you, Muslim, to be fair and kind to non-Muslim as long as they do not fight against your religion or wish to expel you from your home. So as long as other religious communities are kind and fair to Muslim commanded to be fair and kind to non-Muslim. This is a very important verse in the Quran. I think many scholars of the Middle Ages forget this verse, and they try to convince Muslims to hate Christian and not to respect Christian. Up till today, we find those kind of mentality. Every Christmas day, there will be a call not to greet Christians. But this is, of course, contrary to what the verse says. But even there is a very clear command in the Quran. If someone greets you, you have to respond the greeting in a better way, or at least similarly. We can still find many wonderful references in the Quran on the above line, including, not limited, as follows. When you are greeted, respond with a better greeting, or at least similarly. Therefore, it is important for us to work together to break the cycle of hostility and with bold humility by recognizing the problem within our own religious community, and at the same time to learn what is good in other religious community, and also try to find common grounds for cooperation for the sake of harmonious relation. The Quran explicitly praising the attitude of Christians toward Muslims when it says, "You will surely find the most gracious towards the believers," mean Muslim, "those who call themselves Christian." That is because there are priests and monks among them, and because they are not arrogant. The Quran stated that. Furthermore, the Prophet Muhammad was commanded by God to find common word with the people of the book. So try to find common word for you to cooperate. Ya Ahlal Kitab, ta'alu ila kalimatin sawa. O Prophet, people of the book, let us come to common terms that we will worship none but Allah, associate none with Him, nor take one another as Lord instead of Allah. We need to equip our, especially teachers, who, according to the survey, over 50% are intolerant. We need to equip them with 3 important competencies. Personal competency is understanding one's own moral tradition and religious teaching from the main source of one religion, in the Muslim case, the Quran and the Prophet, or the exemplary life of the Prophet. So teachers should have that competence. In addition to the above, this competency also includes the understanding of other religious teaching as being practiced and believed by the adherents. So we know exactly what is going on there for you to understand before you start to wage hatred or war against them. The second competency is comparative. Competency is the understanding of the moral and spiritual framework of one's neighbor. But the key is to understand it from the perspective of that religious follower. In doing so, we can also better understand the commonalities and differences to engage them in a good way. 3, collaborative competency is knowing the meeting points for collaboration, and also understanding the relevant spiritual and organizational cultures to work together for the sake of societal welfare and human benefit. This is what the Quran says, istabiqul khairat, way to one another in good things. In conclusion, I would like to pinpoint or underline for us all, and especially communities of faith, to achieve the goal of creating religious harmony. 4 points. First is respecting differences, as it is the will of God who made us different. It is not our will, but this is the will of God. If Allah wishes, He could have created us monolithic with one single race, one single religion and color. لو شاء ربك لجعلكم أمة واحدة. If God wills, He can create you all white, all black, all Muslim, all Christian. But God does not like that idea. Why? Because God continue and explain that I want to test every community of faith to what extent they follow the teaching of the religion. Second, it is imperative to understand the teaching of others as they believe in. We are not supposed to read books written by Muslim for us, and on the other hand, reading books about Islam written by non-Muslim. We have to try to understand the teaching of others through their scholars. For that, we can prevent misunderstanding. The third, we should always try to understand our religious teaching from the main source. What I mean the main source is from the Quran, not from the scholar's idea. The Quran says you have to be respectful to non-Muslim as long as they don't fight you or they don't expel you from your home. But if we follow the Wahhabis scholars, they would say, in any case, you have to be against those who are not following your path. So if we ignore the main source and take the secondary source, meaning the interpretation, we will fall into a problem. And the last one is never put yourself in the prerogative position of God. God has authority to punish, to put someone in heaven or in hell. Don't put yourself in that authoritative position. Never say Christian will go to hell or the others. This is only God who can say that. So if we can follow this 4 advice, I hope that our aim and objective of having positive interreligious dialogue can be fulfilled. Thank you very much for your attention.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Alwi Shihab. So much food for thought, right? We had physical food and now we got spiritual food to think how to have constructive dialogue and understand each other. Well, we have many more speakers lined up. The next one, another great scholar and teacher, is actually the ambassador, former ambassador to Qatar, Ambassador Abdul Wahid Maktoub, and I would like to invite you, without much ado, to come forward and share your wisdom with us. Let's warmly welcome Ambassador Maktoub.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I enjoy with the excellent presentation delivered by all speakers. It inspired me much. But maybe I want to underline some points, especially about the misunderstanding and also misinterpretation and also misimplementation of the religious teaching, as already explained by the previous speaker, and about the importance of us to educate the public, because you know that among of us is a matter of gaps, not only economic gap but also gap in intellectual. So that's why we need to intensify our discussion on the importance of educating the public, especially on underlining about the universal nature of religions, the alamiyatul Islam, so which enable all differences can be accommodated. That is the importance of massive communication and massive collaboration, as outlined by maybe some holy books such as Al-Quran, lita'arufu and also lita'awanu. So the existence of differences not to make every one of us collide each other, confront each other, but in fact actually we must have new awareness about the importance of massive communication and also massive collaboration among us. That is the challenge of us in the future now. As already touched by Professor Albi about the tolerance, why we are intolerant, because sometimes we miss the essential function of the religion itself. Sometimes we are at the surface in understanding the religions, not deep, that's why we need to reflect about what is the main purpose of the religion. Actually, it is just a matter of ethics. The global ethics, universal ethics is a compassionate and the merciful, is the love. So that's why our God is natured by Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the most compassionate and the most merciful, is that the khaliqu bi ahlakillah. So every human is brought to have global ethics. That is love, universal love. That sometimes we neglect about that. What is called in our Al-Quran is al-ghaflah. So negligence about the importance of the substance of the religion itself, in order we understand who is God. God is the most merciful and the most compassionate. So we must have that ethics that should be inculcated in our hearts, in order when we see the differences, we see with the love, even with the difference, because we are, all of us are the family of God, the children of God. So we must know each other, we must love each other. So it cannot be tolerated in the name of religion. We kill, we hit others. So it is not tolerated. But it needs some deep education. So that's why in our hadith, it is highly recommended the importance of knowing knowledge, especially divine knowledge. Man arada dunya fa'alayhi bil ilm, man arada al-akhirah fa'alayhi bil ilm, man aradahuma fa'alayhi bil ilm. If you want to master, if you want to be in harmony with the world, we must seek knowledge, divine knowledge. So we feel about awareness about the human is very limited, and we need the unlimited one. Who is that? Is God. God is unlimited. We are limited with our knowledge. We are limited with our knowledge. We are limited with our potency. So we need each other. That is the humanistics. But sometimes we lose that awareness. So that's why this organization is very important to renew, to rebuild, to strengthen our awareness. Our awareness, so that from the neglected we become aware, we become remember again about the important. Even though we are coming from different religion, but actually, essentially, it is one. Innakum ummatan wahida, one. Yeah, and even though we have different terminology, but how about the awareness and maturity to accept the differences? Yeah, the tolerance, something like that. Of course, we must intensify communication, and we must also educate the public, which is which is universal, which is local. So there must be the global, what we call now is global and local culture should be harmonized first. Yeah. So we cannot let the confrontation, yeah, between local and global cultures. Yeah. In ulama's terminology, it is tahaluf, the alliance. If in the past, yeah, we still obsessed with some orientation of the class of civilization, it is timely for us to change from the mutual destruction to mutual construction, mutual hatred to mutual love, yeah. And from contradiction, confrontation to we love each other, because actually we are coming from one ancestor, that is Adam and Eve. Yeah? So we are coming from them, and also we are coming from one God, the one creator. Why should we make war and kill each other in the name of religion, while a religion never teach us to kill others? It is just a matter of the misinterpretation and misimplementation. That is our obligation for all of us to fix and to correct this understanding, in order, because sometimes the people attitude and behavior is influenced to some extent by their way of thinking, how they absorb their understanding to the religion. So that's why I fully agree with Professor Alwi about the importance of true teaching to the public, because sometimes this teaching will influence our character, and character will influence the attitude and behavior, whether we hostile or friendly relation when we look at the others. That is our common challenge to all of us, and I'm sure by unity among us, we have new awareness, and we have new movement all the time to bring and to invite all every difference to be united, united for spreading the culture of love, culture of dialogue, culture of tolerance, not on the contrary, a culture of suspicion, culture of war, something like that. And use of force should be prevented. So that's why we spread some message to all the people around the world about that all of us are family, brothers and sisters. So it is our obligation to love each other regardless their background. I think that is my reflection on this forum, and I'm sure our holy vision and mission in for this organization will be welcomed by all layers of community around the world. Thanks so much. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much. One more round of applause, and let us respond to your call that we all should spread this kind of true teaching and cooperation and love to others, right? Now it is time to listen to another great scholar. I don't know, we have so many lined up. This is Professor Asep Saifuddin, MA, PhD. He is now the rector of UIN Sharif Hidayatullah, Jakarta, which is, from my own experience with interacting and working with your university, it's really a top educational institution to raise up the next generation of future leaders in this great nation. So let us give a big round of applause to Professor Asep.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers and guests, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this international conference. It is very grateful for me to be here, and of course, this is the first time. I have been quite often come to Istiqlal to become another session for attending ceremonies and talk here, but this is very grateful with international colleagues, international experts to be here. First of all, allow me to talk about seeking common ground for religious harmony. This work? Okay. In Indonesia, of course, and also in the world, are facing with the term of religion. That religion has been interpreted as exclusive on the one hand, and even in some others become the sources of the dispute and also war, for example. Like in Afghanistan, for example, in some other state, religion, in India even, and in some part of the world, religions become the sources of the conflict. So the question is, does religion become the problem for the world? Or does religion become the peace for the world? The one that we need here, of course, to share the experience and the knowledge that pluralism or many religions, exactly, for example, has been the history at all time. No part of the world only exists one religion. That the world itself naturally been exists or lived by many people who have different religion. So we need to take another further lessons in the history of Baghdad, for example, in the 8th and the 9th century. There was a Jewish quarter in Baghdad. So also there is also a Christian quarter in Baghdad. In ancient cities like Damascus and Cairo, they also preserve the multi-faith aspect of Abrahamic communities. And in Indonesia itself, we have many religions and many sects and many faiths, whether this is the monotheism or polytheism. So the prophet, for example, did not come into a vacuum of religion. It means when the prophet sent by God to Mecca, Saudi Arabia at the time, there are many practices in Mecca. So there were many religions has already exist. And Islam, therefore, is required to understand, to coexist, to respect, to tolerate the existing religion. And when the prophet come to Medina, for example, who at that time, Medina has already been many sects, many people, many religions. And the prophet also never tried to make one Islam or one community which consists only with Islam. There are many Jews, there are many Christians still exist in Medina until the day of the prophet itself. So we can refer to the Quran, for example, here. Say we believe in Allah and in what has been revealed to us and what has revealed to Abraham, Ismail, Isaac, Jacob, and the tribe, and the book to the Moses, Jesus, and the prophet from the Lord, we make no distinction between one and another among them, and to Allah do we bow our will. So the difference, the pluralism itself is preserved naturally by God. So we are not required or commanded to make this society into one community or into one faith. So this is in nature. When we are doing this and hate others, or only wish to have one community in one religion. So the pluralism itself is the nature, and we call in Islam is rahmah, is the love of God. Religious diversity is a defining feature of our world. While it can lead to incredible richness, it also carries the potential for conflict and misunderstanding, of course. And when we fail to manage the situation and only lean or wish only one aspect but hate another, of course, religion itself becomes the poison to the humanity. So the religion becomes the poison is depend on how we understand the theological understanding or theological sources itself. There is a need for finding common ground for religious harmony, emphasizing the importance of dialogue, mutual respect, and shared values across faith tradition. Through understanding and respecting differences while acknowledging shared values, religious harmony can be fostered, promoting a more peaceful and inclusive world. So this is our job and our duty now to make whole the world is peace. I will take one of the verse in the Quran that has already mentioned before. Qul amanna billahi wa ma unzila alayna wa ma unzila ala Ibrahim, Abraham, wa Ismail, wa Ishaq, wa Yaqub, wal asbat, wa ma utiya Musa, wa Isa, wan nabiyyuna min rabbihim, la nufarriqu baina ahadin minhum wa nahnu lahu muslimun. That there is no distinction, that already mentioned before. And another verse of the Quran also already mentioned that every one of you we have appointed a right way, Sharia, our Sharia, and an open road, minhaj. If God had will, He would have made you one nation, one ummah. But that He may try you in what has come to you in the form of Scripture. So be you forward in good works. Unto God shall you human being return altogether, and He will tell you of what then ye were at variance. So here, walakin liyabluwakum fima atakum fastabiqul khairat, already mentioned by Professor Al-Wishab. It means that who is among you the best of you that can present, can express, can implement the best way. So it is not nature, it is in nature to make one community. Now, we need to explore another root causes of religious disharmony. This disharmony generally comes from misuse of religion. Religion can be manipulated for political or extremist purposes, leading to conflict. Solution involve countering religious extremism with interfaith education, outreach, and strong counter-terrorism measures. So this is interfaith dialogue and education, one way to reduce or maybe eradicate misunderstanding or misuse of religion. And second, lack of trust. So we need to build a trust between religious communities that have a history or conflict can be challenging. Transparency, dialogue, and the involvement of trusted mediators can help bridge this gap. So we need to trust each other. Even though we are Muslim, Christian, Jews, and some other religion, we need to trust each other. Let them pray. Let them believe in their religion. And also secularism and versus religious freedom. Striking a balance between secularism and religious freedom in governance can be contentious. Policies should aim to protect religious freedom while respecting the diversity of society. So the state here is also responsible to provide, to apply the regulation that can secure the freedom and respecting diversity in society. And others here is the need, what is the need for religious harmony? One is peace and stability, and second is social cohesion. We need to collaborate in society even though we are different. And the other is promotion of tolerance, because tolerance is one value and one important root for the society for live together and coexistence to believe in many religions. And the last is economic growth. It is very important. When the people are poor and starving, they are, of course, hungry. And hungry lead to hatred. When people try to survive with lack of understanding of religion, so in other words, economic growth or poverty also lead to disharmony. This is not only we believe, but life is not secure and promoted by the society or by the state. So we should promote for prosperity itself. And another aspect of this one is also building an inclusive religious awareness, that we need to come to build the concrete moral values and also to expand and express good mankind, to mediate relationship among the differences of beliefs and also values. So the values, the common ground of values, we need to promote and encourage among society. And another strategy of promoting common ground, I try here to highlight 4 aspects. One is interfaith dialogue. Second is promotion of shared values. And third is religious literacy. And fourth, legislation and policies. Interfaith dialogue, is to involve structured conversation between the representatives of different religious traditions. It is an effective tool for identifying shared values and areas of cooperation. Religious interfaith dialogue at the community, national and international levels can break down barriers and foster understanding. So it is a very good opportunity for international conference that we try to share through interfaith dialogue. The second, about the promotion of shared values. Different religious traditions often share values such as compassion, charity, social justice. Emphasizing these shared values can unite communities and transcend religious differences. So we need to encourage love and respect in order to make justice in society. And third, religious literacy, for example, is very important. Educating individuals about different religions help dispel stereotypes and misunderstanding. Education should be a fundamental component of effort to promote religious harmony. Why we need to literacy be promoted? Because the main causes of conflict, because they were a shallow understanding of religion itself, especially in terms of theological sources. Legislation and policies also who put government can play a role, a big role, by enacting laws and policies that protect religious freedom, promote inclusivity, and prevent discrimination based on religious beliefs. So the state should be balanced and justice in treating all different religions, not leaning one another. And in conclusion, I would like to emphasize here that religious diversity is a defining feature of our globalized world, and its coexistence can bring richness and strength to societies. However, it can also lead to misunderstanding and conflict. Finding common ground for religious harmony involves fostering dialogue, promoting shared values, celebrating diversity while respecting differences. By embracing these principles, society can work toward a moral, peaceful, inclusive, and harmonious world where people of all faiths can coexist and collaborate for the common good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for very clear path towards religious harmony. And so let's give him another big round of applause. Our next two speakers are very special and unique in each way. The first one, she is very special because she is a woman. She's the only woman speaker on this panel. So we have a chance to listen from a woman's perspective. She is Dr. Rosita Tandos, a professor at UIN, and also the director of the Voice of Istiqlal. And it's really because of her leadership and this amazing team under her that has really facilitated this program today. So we should give them a very big round of applause and big thank you.
Hopefully everyone can see me. The only woman and the smallest speakers for today. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Don't you have this? It's like a movie. Okay, alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Good afternoon into evening now. And we are such a very honor to welcome you all to our great mosque of Istiqlal. From all already we hear so many spectacular experts on the issue of peace and development. Me myself, I learn a lot through all the process and then through all we have today. Let me highlight very specific to the issue of peace and development. That's a women issue. With the topic of enhancing women's role for lasting harmony, peace, and security. Using intersectionality approaches to see the issue of peace and development, we can highlight some more data or current findings about the conditions of women in Indonesia especially. Sorry? No, it's okay. Ini aja. Okay. We know in Indonesia, the percentage of men and women are also almost equal. The current data from BPS, it shows that almost equal, about 0% something is the difference between the number of men and women. But the number of illiteracy of women are bigger than men, aged more than 15 years, more living at rural areas. And then also poverty lines, men is less 1% more than women. And another issue reported in January 2022, during the COVID era, there is violence against women is also become an issue and concern. And then most of violent issue is coming from the domestic sphere, that is family. This is also become a concern of all or some of our speakers today to build harmony at the level of family. That's another stage to develop peace in our society. And then also, other issue of women's rights, that the divorce rate is coming from those who married from 1 to 5 years marriage. That's fall into 80%. And then also still leave some other issue that was early marriage, and also the most current issue that become a concern to all of us is about violent extremism and terrorism, that we know now the trend women become the active fighters. Now the trend become from mothers into bombers. So then, now I would like to move to the interreligiosity. Women and religion can play their role into family level, into marriage, and to create for future of children. Based on the research from International Pew Research Center survey of the general population in 84 countries conducted between 2008 and 2015, the study found that globally, women are more devout than men by several standard measures of religious commitment, including religious affiliations, frequency of worship, service attendance, frequency of prayer, and whether religious plays an important role in a person's life. One interesting finding of the IPRC shows that among majority Christians in 30 countries, women attend religious service more often, but 28 majority Muslim countries and Orthodox Jews, men attend more often. Both religions give priorities men's participations in weekly attendance of worship services. So this is example when women mostly not come to Friday praying. Now, we move to the women and religion. In 2021, there are 6 official religions in Indonesia. Islam is 86.7%, Catholics 7.47%, and Protestant 3.8%, Christian Protestant, Hinduism 0.74%, and Buddhism 0.05%. Confucianism and other faiths fall in 0.3%. To this point, the religions affect people's life, giving opportunity for practicing their religions privately and publicly. So then, we can say that it's necessary to study religious teaching, thoughts, and discussions of women's positions, gender relations, trends, and challenge for women's participation in religious practice and the program's impact for social change at local, national, and internationally. The term of religions refers to women as leaders, organizations that they work with, and congregations that they're living together. In the process of development, women's position is challenged beside the fact that they still play significant role in family, group, community, and state. However, cultural, religious, image making still shape what a woman is supposed to be, what image they see herself, and how society observes, reacts to the set of the image. Furthermore, using historical approach shows women's rights, social status, and professional opportunities and achievement are affected by foundational idea of society, religious understanding, modern ideology of secularism, and the thoughts of women themselves. Then it is necessary for women from a variety of culture and religion have gathered to discuss the relations of religion to their own concern, as the understanding of religion is significant for women in the process of social change. And then lastly, let me share we can proudly say, best practice or model for empowering society, and especially women group in Mosque of Istiqlal. Like what shared by our Grand Imam, Professor Kiai Nasaruddin Umar, that we regularly in Istiqlal doing Interfaith Dialogue. And VOIST of Istiqlal, this is actually one of body that before is a program that developed with American U.S. Embassy here in Jakarta, but then it's become a body, and then it's developed starting some program including American space. That maybe some of you or most of you already visit the space. That actually the VOIST of Istiqlal as a big body is have main concern, that is diversity and tolerance, gender equality, and interfaith dialogue. So we've shaped these three big issues, three big area of works into a VOIST space that we start with American space, and then the second is a VOIST regular program that we work with ministries and other organizations, including university. We work with here my rector, Professor Asep Saifuddin. Thank you for coming. And then here we saw also Professor Kiai Maktub. And then not really, but we already connect with the work of Resident University. And then now we are so lucky and honored to have IATD, AIPP to work with us. So the first time, thank you. Right. So I saw a figure, Mrs. Ursula, at the first time they come to us. We prepared this event almost more than 1 month. We sit together to meet our concern together and to develop this now until now. We enjoy together the event. Thank you so much. And then we're so honored to have our great professor here, Professor Kiai Alwi Shihab. Thank you so much. And all other, I think, the leaders from IAPP and IIPD. Hopefully I correct to say that. So thank you so much, and welcome to our mosque, and we hope we can work more and more. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rosita. We love working with you and working with your team. I think that is really where we can learn to understand each other and create goodness, you know, and spread it throughout the nation. I think it's so important, the practical experience. I just quickly, our distinguished rector of Dr. Asep has to go back to his university. So I would like to ask Honorable Ignat to quickly present him the token of appreciation to Dr. Asep. And then we will have our last but not least speaker of this session. So you will get your coffee afterwards. Okay, let's give a big round of applause. Thank you so much. Dr. Asep Saipudi. Who? Oh, okay, then, okay, we have one more dignitary, so we want to thank Dr. Ambassador Abdul Wahid Maktoub. And now we have another very special speaker, because this time now we can learn his views and experience from a Catholic viewpoint. We have heard a lot from the Muslim viewpoint, but it wouldn't be complete if we have other religious viewpoints. So I would like to invite Dr. Romo Thomas Ulon Ismoyo, PR. He is the priest and vice secretary of the Archdiocese of Jakarta. Let's welcome him up onto the stage.
Brothers and sisters, I see that you need coffee in this time of the day, okay? Be patient. I will speak no longer than 10 minutes, I hope, fingers crossed. My dear brothers and sisters, all the distinguished speakers and participants, go ahead. It is a privilege to be here for this assembly, for this seminar. Common ground for religious harmony, lasting peace and security. I extend my sincere gratitude for all the organizers and all of you for making this possible. I give the title of my presentation, Encounters and Sharing Solidarity. And brothers and sisters, I stand before you today at this magnificent mosque, a symbol of unity and spiritual devotion. Istiqlal means independence, I reckon. And as a Catholic priest, I am deeply honored to be here. Brothers and sisters, I'm a local boy. I live just across the street. So if you got stuck in traffic this morning, that was not the case with me. So I am free of that traffic because I just live across the street. So in literal sense, you are all my neighbor. And Prophet Isa, or Jesus Christ, taught me to love my neighbor as myself. Love your neighbor as yourself. So here I am extending love and peace to you all in this sacred space. Brothers and sisters, for me, interreligious dialogue is not merely a concept nor an ideal. So I will be speaking not only concept of views, but I will speak also with examples that I live out, that I found in my daily life as a Catholic priest. For me, interreligious dialogue is a journey that involves humility, compassion, and the ability to listen. Humility, compassion, and the ability to listen. As the great Islamic scholar, better to go here or there? Rumi, a Sufi, once profoundly stated, "Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself." These words echo the wisdom that underpins the part of our dialogue, where mutual understanding is the bridge of peace between our faith and communities. As a Catholic, I think it will be incomplete if I don't mention Hans Küng. Hans Küng, one of the family's theologians, a Swiss-born priest, added, "There will be no peace among the nations without peace among the religions. There will be no peace among religions without dialogue among the religions." That's what Hans Küng said. And then he concluded, "No justice, no peace." Religions, from his point of view, even though he said this a few decades ago, are at the frontiers of delivering harmony and peace in our world by promoting justice. When he spoke about justice, I understand that it is mostly referring to social justice, which in the Catholic Church is defined, to be simple, the respect for the human person and the rights which flow from human dignity. That's the definitions of social justice. Specifically in the Catholic Church where I work and serve, in the Catholic Church of Jakarta, Archdiocese of Jakarta, every 5 years we develop a basic pastoral direction, a statement of vision and mission for the future 5 years, which expresses our primary objectives and ministry focus of the church. This year we focus on the common good. Last year the focus of our ministry is promoting or respecting human dignity. And this year we promote common good by fighting human trafficking through awareness campaign, educational programs and partnership with some of you to shed light on the issue of human trafficking, provide supports to victims, and advocate for stronger anti-trafficking laws. These efforts not only uphold the inherent worth of each human being, but also contribute to the broader global mission of ending modern-day slavery and ensuring the protection of the most vulnerable members of society. Brothers and sisters, I do believe that the issue of social justice is not only my issue, Catholic issue, Christian issue, Muslim issue, Buddhism issue. It is our issue. It is the one that we need to overcome. That's why, brothers and sisters, we understand that we never work alone. We dialogue and collaborate with our brothers and sisters, and mostly in Indonesia with the Muslims, because you are the majority of the citizens of Indonesia. When I studied in Australia for 5.5 years ago, or for 5.5 years, and I returned a year ago, many Australian think that I'm Filipinos. When I said that I'm Indonesian, they were surprised. There was a priest, a good priest, which is me, coming from Indonesia. They don't have any perspective beforehand. There's a priest coming from Indonesia. They don't come to Flores. Many priests come from Flores. But apart from that, we understand that we collaborate. In terms of collaboration, I recall my friend Father Felix Supranto, a priest in the province of Banten Tangerang district, Indonesia, who is known for promoting social justice work amongst people of different faith. In his district, Banten, there are 3,500,000 people who mostly live in the outer skirt of the city. The Islamic atmosphere is strong, and Muslim clerics are dominant figures within the society. He has worked with them for over 15 years, and he shared with me his 3 recipes in interreligious dialogue: encounter, presence, and community involvement. That is his recipe to build a good harmony with his neighbors. First, encounter. Father Felix started with himself, stepping out of his comfort zone in the presbytery, that is his church, and community, to encounter the Muslims in the area. Not just an encounter, but repeated encounters, because trust requires time to build. By meeting other Muslim scholars and imams, he began to understand others' point of view. As he respects others, he gains respect from others as well. He mentioned to me that one recipe is that the older the Muslim clerics are, the most respected they are. So happy are those who are old enough, because you receive a lot of respect. That is the first thing, encounter. The second thing is about presence. The more Father Felix is known by the community, the more he remains in the hearts of the Muslim community, as well in the heart of the government official, military, and of police official. Father Felix makes sure he is present at the important life events of the Muslim community, such as religious holidays that we have many in Indonesia: birth, marriage, funeral, ceremony of circumcision, and so on. He celebrates and grieves with them. Encounter, repeated encounters, presence. And thirdly, community involvement. Following natural disasters, for example, COVID-19, Father Felix can be found amongst the Muslim community, cleaning garbage in the neighborhood or helping flood victims. His community involvement not only helped the vulnerable people, but also strengthen the sense of tolerance in his neighborhood. This sense of togetherness made people realize that they are one family. Indeed, COVID-19 pandemic has opened our eyes to the reality that we are not alone. Virus don't see religion, also solidarity. It doesn't see religion. We are one universal family striving for the health, for the common good for all. As fruits of his work, Catholics and Muslims live in harmony in this area. When a Catholic passes away, they can be buried in the public cemetery, which was not the case before his era. Catholics are now able to worship at their homes without any disturbance. Some neighbors of other faith even come to offer helping hands with food preparation and so on and so forth. That is the second theme. The third, one scholar said, religion should always be the agent of change to strive for the common good. Many of you are religious leaders to some extent. And religious leaders have a strategic role in connecting the rich and the poor, connecting the strong and the weak, connecting people with the government. Religion and religious leaders should tirelessly teach, encourage, and remind their followers that wealth and capital should not be used to build walls. Instead, it must be used to build bridges that connects people, that connects a person to his or her brothers and sisters. A wall separates and divides people from their neighbors, but bridges connect people from different territories and backgrounds. A bridge gathers, reunites, and enhances the spirit of humanity. My leader, Pope Francis, after his visit to United Arab Emirates and Morocco, said like this: we need bridges, and we feel pain when we see persons that prefer to build walls. Why do we have pain? Because those who build walls end up being prisoners of the walls they have built. On the other hand, those who build bridges go forward. Brothers and sisters, distinguished guests, especially those who come from outside Jakarta or from overseas. Here in Jakarta, between the cathedral and the great mosque of Istiqlal, we do not build walls or bridges. Rather, we build a tunnel that not only connects these two historic sites, but also the people. This tunnel is named the Tunnel of Silaturahmi. I couldn't find the English translation for that, so I changed the Tunnel of Fraternity. It reminds us, the tunnel, that we share the same earth. We stand on the same soil, the soil that grows plants and provides water, so that we can live securely on common ground in harmony, peace, and love. We stand on the same soil. And the biblical tradition, soil, is a very important word. We share the same ancestor, Adam. Adam came from a Hebrew language. Adama means soil. So we share the same soil. We also share the same ancestor. So brothers and sisters, what are the common ground for religious harmony, lasting peace and security? Awareness that we live on the same soil, stand on the same soil, get food from the same soil. We need to do repeated encounters with our fellow brothers and sisters, and we strive hand in hand together to collaborate for common good. Common good is all for everyone, not only for Muslim, Catholic, Christian, but it's all for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this excellent presentation, and we look forward going through your tunnel of fraternity. This is part of our schedule today. Thank you so much. Also, because I can see that our tea and coffee has already prepared in the back of the room, so we decided to have the question and answer session in next session, which doesn't have so many speakers. And we want to thank our distinguished panelists for this session. So I would like to ask Dr. Kittel and Dr. Alvi and Dr. Rosita to please come forward, and Honorable Eknath, Romo will also come forward, and Honorable Eknath will present the token of appreciation for really your hard work to prepare such excellent presentations. We learned a lot. Yeah. The first one is for Dr. Alvi. Big round of applause. The next one is for Dr. Robert Kittel? Oh no. Okay, Dr. Robert Kittel. Thank you. Okay. The next one is for Dr. Rosita. And the last one is for Dr. Romo Thomas. And then let's have one group photo with the panelists. With this, I hand over to our MC to make the announcement.
Thank you, Ms. Ursula and the panelists for leading the session. And now, this is the last part of the session, is tea and coffee break. So I want the audience to in the place at 3:20 p.m. Sesi terakhir sekarang sudah di akhir sesi kedua. Untuk teman-teman
I'll be giving the activities of YSP, and lastly the call to action. So first, the IA-YSP introduction. I want to share to everyone the YSP vision, which is a global family of young people building a world of peace with true love. And 2017, February 23, 2017, IA-YSP was established by Mother Moon, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon. And right now, from 2017 until now, it's just 5 years or 6 years, and then we have now 48 national chapters who are registered in the UN ECOSOC. But we are active in over 100 nations. Others are still looking, qualifying, make their qualification so that they can be registered with the United Nations ECOSOC as well. And even though it was established 2017, even in the midst of pandemic, we were successfully achieved the recognition of the UN ECOSOC in special consultative status. We are working closely with the Universal Peace Federation, and UPF is in general consultative status with UN ECOSOC. But for us, IA-YSP, we are an NGO in special consultative status with the UN ECOSOC. Next, I'll be giving IA-YSP activities towards nation building. First, I want to focus on activity which working with the government. This is an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with the National Youth Council, the highest policy-making body for youth in the Republic of the Philippines. We signed a memorandum of understanding with them which highlights different activities. One is Pure Love Education, which address teenage pregnancy. The second one is Peace Designers Training, which teaches our young people a service project planning. And third is the critique and counter proposal to communist ideology. And then the result of this one is that we could travel virtually in the midst of pandemic from May 2021 until November. We could travel all the 17 regions and we could conduct regional youth forum. There are more than 26,000 youth leaders and student leaders who participated virtually, and it's a 2-day event that more than 6,000 of these youth leaders graduated. What's good with this program is that Dr. Kittel here, who is an American but Filipino by heart, researched our 1987 Philippine Constitution, and from there drafted what does our Constitution mean by patriotic youth. And so as you can see, there are 6 definitions of what is a patriotic youth according to our Philippine Constitution. For example, according to that Constitution, patriotic youth are youth that involve in public and civic affairs. They promote liberation and development. They serve with utmost responsibility and loyalty, and more importantly, can be entrusted with public assets or monetary assets and known for their honesty and integrity. They possess self-discipline and embody in their character ethical and what? Spiritual values, and have appreciation for the government, military, and respect the rights of people. The result of this one was that we are working with the National Security Council, and they gave us our program. The Regional Youth Forum became part of their accomplishment report, which they reported to the President of the Republic of the Philippines and the other key individuals. They gave 3 pages in this accomplishment report for the Regional Youth Forum. And further, we were recognized during the 3rd year anniversary of the NTF-ELCAC in the presence of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte as the private sector partners. And from May until November, we did our best. But you know what? It's more than an event. Our passion and our advocacy goes beyond the moment of the events. We reported the success of this one with our manual. We created a lecture manual and we reported to the former President, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, in her residence. We report that one. We had also a privilege to meet prior to winning the election. Right now, our Vice President, Sara Duterte, and our current President, Bongbong Marcos. Beside them, there are numerous of people that we reported the success of this one. In military, in politics, religious people, we reported about the success of our Regional Youth Forum. He is actually leading the National Youth Council, the youth department in the Philippines, and I would want to share to you his words. If we can play.
100 years ago, where are the youth who will consecrate their golden hours, illusions, and enthusiasm for the betterment of this motherland? So he said, come, for we await you. I can proudly say today, he's my kababayan. I'm from his hometown of Calamba City, the national hero, Jose Rizal. I can tell him that I've seen the promising youth that he was envisioning 100 years ago. Today, in this event, and with you, together with the NYC, we will support you. We will become millions of Filipino youth towards a greater destiny for this country, towards the strengthening of this republic, and towards uniting our generation for a better country, for a better world of peace. Thank you. In all honesty, I think the model organization for the youth in the country is the YSP.
Okay. Thank you so much. Those were the words of the highest politician who is working for the youth government in the Philippines. He said that the model organization for the youth in the country is the IAYSP. Moving on, the next activities I'll be sharing to you is a matter of national social emergency in the Philippines. In the Philippines, teenage pregnancy is one of our war that we are fighting. Why? According to statistics, the Republic of the Philippines losing 33 billion every year to teenage pregnancy. Statistics says there are 538 babies born to Filipino teenage mothers daily. Imagine, today there are 538 young mother giving birth to babies. Tomorrow, another 538. The next day, another 538. That is a problem that we are facing on. The Philippines has the second highest teen pregnancy in Southeast Asia, and 62% of teen mothers are dropped out of school. By age 20, they would be earning 87% less than an average 20 years old woman's pay. These are merely words, but can you imagine an 11-year-old kid crying because she is pregnant, giving up her dream of studying or pursuing a career? That is a problem. How do we solve this one? Our initiative we call the Pure Love Education. We are guiding together with our government to eradicate teenage pregnancy in the country by giving them character education based on purity. We call Pure Love Education. We have Pure Love movement. You know, we are bringing our youth in the street, and then we have our placards, and then we walk on the street, and then we're shouting like that. But what we shout, it's not, resign, oust this person, oust this politician. It's not like that. What we are shouting, I'm proud to be a virgin. That one. What we are shouting, one man, one wife, one love, one life. That's one. What we are shouting, think and think before you unzip. Or choose your dream, not a minute of pleasure. This is how we educate our young people. We believe that this abstinence-based education is the only 100% proven effective against HIV or sexually transmitted disease. And we are promoting this one. We have Pure Love Model School in the Philippines. The Sunwa International Academy, who has 0 case of teenage pregnancy since its founding in 2022. Not just teenage pregnancy, 0 HIV case. Sorry, not 22. Not last year, sorry. My mistake. 2002. Okay. Oh, now I can see that you are all awake. Can I give a round of applause with that one? Can I receive a round of applause, please? Okay, so if you want to learn, because we are improving our Pure Love advocacy that we are administering to the student of the Sunwa International Academy. Okay, next, I would want to give our activity in partnership with the academe. As you can see, Dr. Kittel is there and me is there. We have University Youth Forum that we are doing together with our university. Last June, I was here in Indonesia and I worked with Universitas Trisakti, and we have our communication with them. This is Pure Love Education with the academe. Next activity, partnership with civil society. Not just organizations, but we are empowering young youth and students. When we give them peace designers, we are teaching them to think of a solution to a problem. We are teaching them also to use their voice to join synergy, student ideas energy, so that they can share solutions to a problem and win prize so that they can use for their program. Those who execute their peace project idea in the community, we call them peace project leader. So far in Asia Pacific, we have 4 peace project leader who are active. We are also developing our network of Youth Ambassador for Peace and Youth Heroes Awardee so that we can connect leaders, youth leaders who have positive contribution in the nation and in our community. If you have, please suggest that to us. Next, our partnership with the Interfaith organization. We are working through, this one is the Religious Youth Service, a service project which includes character education that we are doing in Sri Lanka. We are also about to have this in the Philippines. Later this month, we will have the Christian Youth Action for Nation Building, which is a service project and has character education as well. We create partnership that leads to action beyond denomination. Now, let's go to the last part. This is where I am going to lend everyone's attention and ears. A call to action. We said, what is nation building? When we are talking about nation building, we have to raise patriotic youth. There are actually two threats in nation building. We have the external threat and internal threat. External threat are those, war that's happening, another nation invading our country, we wage war with other nations, bombings, guns, those are external threat. And who will solve this problem? It's our government and military. When our nation of Indonesia is worth dying for, like this one. But let's ask, what about internal threat? What is internal threat? And who will solve this internal threat for the nation building? Internal threat are threats that killing our nation from inside. You know how external threat is threat from outside our nation? What about those threats who kill the dream of our young people? What about those threats who take away the right of our young people to live in a good family? What about those threats who take away the dream of our young people because they have HIV or AIDS? What about the threat inside our country who take away the good education for our young people? Who will solve this internal threat? To whom do we turn so that we can solve this internal threat? I believe, ladies and gentlemen, we have to raise two patriotic. One is external patriots, those who die for our nation. And one is internal patriot. I believe that patriot is not just the one who died for the nations. Patriots are the one who lives for the nations. Patriots are the one who wakes up every day to solve a problem of Indonesia, to give hope to the young people, to fight for the rights of the women, to fight for the rights of religion. Don't you think so? They are patriots, right? And there is a need to empower these patriots. How? We can encourage them. But today, I am proposing an approach to all of you. I call this the whole of Indonesia approach. What about, instead of just encouraging, what about someone can pass a bill, maybe in the lower chamber or in the upper chamber, maybe in the House of Representatives or in the Senate, where we can have the whole of Indonesia approach, not just the government, but together with the religion, together with the women's sector, together with the youth sector, let's gather together our resources and solve the problem, the whole of Indonesia approach. We have, a while ago, Madam Rosita, I was so inspired with her sharing about youth. But you know what I found out? The problems of the women's sector is not just their problems. The problem of my mother is my problem. The problem of my younger sister is my problem. The problem of my daughter is my problem. What if we can encourage the nation, the citizens of Indonesia, that the problem of my first lady is also my problem? What if we can build not just a bill, but if we can encourage different sectors to work together to solve a problem, not just with youth, but with women as well. Did you find hope? Yeah. Adju. Actually, I was in Papua New Guinea last month, and we give the same one to them, and then the government is giving attention to this one, that we could multiply this to PNG. In the Philippines, we started this one. But I hope if we can encourage, maybe not just politics, what if Islam, Istiqlal, can encourage the whole of Indonesia approach so that we can solve problem? Will there be a change? Lastly, I'll be sharing to you a quote from the book of Reverend San Myung Moon. He said, "To be a global leader, a person must think of the world's problem as his own and have the pioneering spirit that is needed for finding difficult solutions. To become a true global leader, a person must consider the whole world to be his country and all humanity to be his brothers and sisters." Can we give mic? And now I would like to ask one youth of Indonesia, Miss Nendi, to read once again these words, but let's change a little bit. Do you want? This one. You can read with her.
Okay. To be Republic Indonesia leader.
Sorry, Nendi.
Okay.
I need more passion. Okay.
Okay.
It's like the word is with you. It's like you believe with your one.
To be Republic Indonesia leaders, a person must think of the Republic Indonesia problems as his own and have the pioneering spirit that is needed for finding difficult solutions. To become a true Republic Indonesian leader, a person must consider the whole Republic Indonesia to be his country and all Indonesians to be his brother and sister. Thank you.
Yeah, if you agree with that, let's give a round of applause. Thank you so much. I believe that if we could encourage a pioneering spirit in all our youth and students that is needed for finding difficult solutions, if we can guide our youth and students in a way that they can find the solutions to many problems, we have a hope for this country. And lastly, let us reflect. What is the role of government? What is the role of Muslim or religion? What is the role of Christians? What is the role of mother? What is the role of father? What is the role of academe in raising patriotic youth for nation building? I hope that you can join us, and together, let's make Indonesia the best country where youth is flourishing and finding solutions to our problem. Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone.
Wow, thank you. You know, when you come in the podium, you light up the spirits for the whole people in this room. And I love that. And besides that, Mr. Ronnie is a world traveler. Well, thank you, Mr. Ronnie, for empowering young people to discover their goal and support them to achieve their goal. We are moving to the next, our panelists. Please welcome Haji Bukhari Sail Aktari, Head of Worship Service of Istiqlal. Please come forward.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawalah, amma ba'd. To be open this discussion, I will convey the President Sukarno word. Sukarno said, give me 10 young people, I will definitely shake the world. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, I will speech with bahasa Indonesia because I love too much bahasa Indonesia. Bapak Ibu sekalian, saya sangat berterima kasih dikasih kesempatan pada sore hari ini, di mana kita untuk diskusi tentang Interfaith Dialogue. Saya akan bicara pertama tentang Masjid Istiqlal, kegiatan remaja Masjid Istiqlal. Istiqlal sebagai masjid negara, dia punya banyak kegiatan, diantaranya adalah kegiatan remaja. So Istiqlal have youth organization, call it ARMY, Asosiasi Remaja Masjid Istiqlal. Ya, kegiatan remaja ini bukan hanya selingkup Masjid Istiqlal atau selingkup orang Muslim saja, tetapi kami ada kegiatan-kegiatan yang melibatkan para pemuda dari katedral, misalnya dari Catholic Church, ada juga dari gereja Advent. Kita juga melibatkan dari remaja Buddha, remaja Hindu, di mana pada tanggal 10 September 2023 yang lalu kita ada kegiatan Hari Olahraga bersama yang melibatkan remaja-remaja lintas agama. Remaja lintas agama ini alhamdulillah sukses ya, kita ada kirab yang menyusuri jalan dari Istiqlal kemudian sampai ke pinggir Monas, ini kembali lagi ke Istiqlal, dan ini sangat berkesan, di mana keakraban antara aktivis-aktivis pemuda Masjid Istiqlal, gereja dan lain-lain bisa guyup bareng, dan inilah yang memang kita bangun. Kita bentuk kerukunan beragama. Dan kalau Soekarno pada masa lalu sudah mengatakan, berikan kami 10 pemuda akan kami guncangkan dunia. Ini artinya potensi pemuda memang sangat besar, bahwa pembangunan yang dibangun oleh generasi tua ini yang akan menikmati adalah anak muda. Ornas ya, bahwa semua yang dikerjakan oleh orang tua adalah nantinya akan dinikmati oleh pemuda. Karena itu dalam Pancasila yang menjadi dasar negara kita, yang pertama adalah ketuhanan yang Maha Esa. Ketuhanan yang Maha Esa, di mana di situ berarti adalah dipentingkan keimanan. Seorang pemuda yang akan membangun negara, dia harus punya iman, baik itu yang Muslim, yang Nasrani, yang Hindu, yang Buddha, harus punya modal keimanan. Tanpa ada modal keimanan, maka pendiriannya akan goyah dan tidak ada prinsip yang dipegang. Tapi dengan pertama keimanan, maka seseorang dia bisa berbuat dengan dasar keimanan itu yang meyakinkan, karena ada prinsip yang dipegang. Itu modal utama, kalau dalam bahasa kita namanya imtak, iman dan takwa ya, iman dan takwa. Ini imtak ini sangat penting. Kemudian pemuda yang diharapkan Soekarno itu juga tentunya adalah pemuda yang kreatif, pemuda yang berkreasi, yang kreasinya bisa tidak terbatas. Artinya kalau orang tua melakukan sesuatu sudah terlalu banyak pertimbangan, sehingga bisa jadi nggak jadi melakukan karena pertimbangan yang sulit. Tetapi anak muda itu tidak banyak pertimbangan, lakukan saja, berkreasi. Toh nanti kalau ada kesalahan akan perbaiki sama yang tua. Maka anak-anak muda itu berkreasilah. Karena tanpa kreasi sebenarnya tidak ada masa depan. Bayangkan kalau pemuda-pemuda itu tidak punya kreasi, maka masa tuanya sepi. Karena yang kita alami sekarang itu adalah hasil kreasi anak muda zaman dulu yang sekarang sudah tua. Ya. Yang kita alami sekarang adalah produk-produk lama. Katakanlah kita sekarang Indonesia merdeka. Seandainya dulu pemuda zaman dulu tidak nekat sampai menculik Soekarno ke Rengas Dengklok untuk kemudian dalam tanda kutip dipaksa untuk mendeklarasikan kemerdekaan Indonesia, maka sampai sekarang mungkin belum merdeka Indonesia itu. Waktu itu pemuda disalahkan, Soekarno sendiri menyalahkan. Kenapa kamu paksa saya? Karena Soekarno sebagai orang tua sudah banyak pertimbangan, tapi pemuda itu tidak banyak pertimbangan. Yang penting ini adalah peluang yang harus diambil dan dilaksanakan. Kemudian seorang pemuda itu juga mesti positive thinking. Positive thinking, berpikir positif. Dengan berpikir positif maka banyak sekali peluang-peluang yang dia bisa kerjakan. Tapi kalau seorang pemuda sudah apatis, berpikir tidak positif, berpikir satu pesimis, maka ini tidak ada harapan. Nah, seorang pemuda harus dia berpikir positif. Tapi juga jangan lupa bahwa kemajuan sebuah bangsa itu adalah dengan ilmu. Maka pemuda tidak boleh menganggap enteng ilmu. Maka pemuda harus mencari ilmu yang setinggi-tingginya, sedetail-detailnya, sehingga untuk mengembangkan sebuah bangsa itu dengan ilmu. Kita bisa saksikan zaman sekarang bahwa perkembangan teknologi yang luar biasa itu tanpa adanya ilmu yang kita miliki, generasi kita yang mempunyai ilmu yang cukup, maka kita akan terseok-seok dan tidak akan bisa mengejar ketertinggalan. Saya sudah ditelepon. Sudah ditelepon. Oke, baik. Ya, salam. Siap. Makasih. Sudah dikasih tahu tamu Cina sudah datang. Jadi saya mohon maaf tidak bisa perpanjang dan mudah-mudahan ini semuanya sukses ya. Kami ada tamu dari Beijing, dari Xinjiang yang datang ke kami dan kami harus terima. Demikian atas perhatiannya kami ucapkan terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak. I will summarize from Pak Bukhari that to develop the country we need a well-educated people, and it started with the young people. On September 9, 2023, Istiqlal conducted the event with the Interfaith youth for all the religion here to remark National Sports Day in Indonesia, and it creates a good harmony. We are going to the next panelist for Dr. Budi Utomo, the Program Manager of Voice of Istiqlal. Pak Budi, please come forward.
Thank you, Mbak Moderator. I think my slide now is for a second session. Yeah. So I try to speak in another topic that I think is possible to deliver here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. I think in this occasion I will explain the basic problems that cause young people to have the wrong religious understanding. Based on my knowledge in the field of Quranic interpretation, misunderstanding in interpreting holy books are the cause of error in expressing religion, giving religion and humanity a bad name. The wisdom of the Quran forbids us from insulting religion. The Quran is a reflection of the morals of the Prophet Muhammad. One of the morals taught by the Quran and implemented by the Prophet Muhammad was saying good words in social relationships. This includes avoiding criticizing other religion when preaching. Of course, this is a warning for all of us, especially with the many young preachers who sometimes intentionally or unintentionally vilify other religions in the church. Yeah, in this social media period, yeah, we sometimes hear the praise from the young preacher, and I think it's not very good to us. Like what Prophet Muhammad say, and Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala say in Holy Quran, "Wala tasubul lazina yad'una min dunillahi fayasubullaha adwan bighairi ilm." And do not curse those whom they worship besides Allah, because they will later curse Allah beyond measure without any basis in knowledge. In this verse, the Quran invites Muslims to demonstrate commendable morals. Among the call of the Quran is to abandon insulting other religion. Sometimes on social media, religion and religious understanding are conveyed by people who are not experts. Unfortunately, some competent people cannot access it as well as they can. So, the counter-narrative against wrong understanding often feels very weak. This needs to be addressed immediately because it can have far-reaching impact. Conflicts that occur due to misinterpretation of religion texts are often difficult to overcome because the actor involved think that they are doing is a good thing and is approved by God. They don't really study in depth, but dare to convey religious message on the name of God. Of course, they are unable to convey the real truth, but they feel that they were allowed to convey God's message. In Holy Quran, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said, "Wa may ya'shu an dzikrir rahman nuqitahu syaitanan fa huwa lahu qarin wa innahum lasuduna 'anis sabil wa yahsabuna annahum muhtadun." And whoever turns a blind eye to the reminder of the most compassionate, we place at the disposal of each deliveries one as their close associate, who will certainly hinder them from the right way while they think they are rightly guided. Quran Surah Az-Zukhruf 36 till 37. Mishandling teenagers and young people is very dangerous time, and it's very dangerous and will be time bomb for a nation. Ladies and gentlemen, in our slide, I put common ground in Quran as the topic. Actually, this slide is for session before this session, but I will explain little from this slide. Kalimatun sawa, we say in Arabic phrase that mean common word or common ground. Kalimatun sawa is Arabic phrase that mean also the word of oneness or the word of unity. It is a Quranic concept that refer to the belief that all religion ultimately lead to the same God. This concept is based on Quranic phrase, Qul ya ahlal kitab ta'alau ila kalimatin sawa bainana wa bainakum. O people of the book, come to a common word between us and you, that we shall worship none but God. Okay, I think we scroll to 3 slides before last. Mr. Alfred, the central theme of religion is humans and humanity. Okay, my last slide. Okay, before. Okay, I think we are in unity now, and I will say that the central theme of religion is humans and humanity. As our Grand Imam said before, such and this mosque, so every scholar and intellectual must appear and legends. It is not permissible to use religion and holy books as argument to legitimize power, violence, falsehood, and injustice. Religion must appear a coolant and enlightener. Next, Mr. Alfred. Okay. I think next slide. Yeah. And in this Istiqlal Mosque, we do everything what we say as the Istiqlal Mosque is house of humanity. Istiqlal Mosque hold regular interfaith dialogue event every month until 3 months. The Istiqlal Mosque collaboration with various parties to improve the quality of cooperation and understanding. Istiqlal has educational program to produce a moderate cadre of ulama from both men and women, and I think it's the first and the only one in the world. The Istiqlal Mosque facilitates increasing the competence of religious leaders in Indonesia. The Istiqlal Mosque always voices moderation in religion and the importance of global cooperation to create a better understanding of religion. And the Istiqlal Mosque always speak of unity and peace. And for the last, I just want to say to you all, Islam, according to my understanding, is a humanitarian religion that spreads peace throughout the universe, rahmatan lil alamin. Thank you very much for your attention here, and I hope Mr. Alfred to play this song for the last. Can you? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Budi. So this is not the last, but we are opening the question and answer. If the participant or the audience wanted to have the question to our panelists, would you please raise your hand, and I would like to give the microphone to you. Okay, I guess not. Yeah, so we are having a token appreciation to our panelists. Mr. Ronnie, Pak Budi, please come forward. Namanya siapa anaknya? Hala, can you please come forward to receive for Mr. Bukhari?
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love, and this place could much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place.
For the group photo, Mrs. Ursula, Ibu Rosita, please come forward.
There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me.
Thank you for everyone who attend this event, and maybe for the female committee, Mrs. Ursula, Ibu Rosita, please come forward. The girl power. For the female committee, please come forward. It's a woman appreciation. It's a woman appreciation, please. MC, our team, panitia, silakan maju ke depan dong, kita foto dulu yuk. Ayo, come on. This called woman empowering woman. Come on, ladies, come on. Power, right? Yes. Okay. Okay, ready? Yes. Cheers.
1, 2, 3.
Yay! Indonesian style. I hope gentlemen don't feel jealous.
Now, gentlemen.
Thank you, Gugun. The photo groups come together. Wait, Mr. Robert, would you like to join? Udah? 1, 2, cheers. Wow. Thank you, big. Oh, for other participants, you can come forward. Everybody come forward. Let's celebrate this moment. Ya, some up, di sebagian di atas podium. Nah, biar muat. Kalau aku di depan, nggak apa-apa, gue tinggi. Sini. Ayo, voice. Ayo. Voice team, come. Ayo, voice team. Mana Adam?
Let's use the banner.
Pakai tripod, Pak. Pakai tripod. Here. Bisa.
Everyone, please come.
Voice team here. Adam, where are you, Adam?
Oke, sudah semuanya.
Adam. Wait,
One more. Oke. Udah? Sebentar ya, belum siap. Oke, ready? Thank you. Big applause for everybody, for all the panelists. Big applause. Thank you for coming today to International Conference, Interfaith Dialogue, IAGPD, IAPP Joint Assembly, the role of the government, civil society, and interfaith cooperation in national building. Thank you for your time today. God bless.
Thank you for moderating today.
I cannot do it without you. Can I?
So I know you.